Hi everyone, Dr. Janet McMordie here, and I'm the host of Second Act Actors. Welcome to episode 2 of my little mini-series, Second Act Actors, Where Are They Now? So this is episode 2, and funny enough, we are highlighting episode 2 of Second Act Actors, my very second guest of Second Act Actors, Hassan Joseph. Now, Hassan and I met over 4 years ago now in an acting class, a virtual acting class, which we were doing at the time. Shout out to LB Acting Studio. Shout out to Michelle, who is still my acting coach to this day. So cool. How cool is that? And so that's where we met virtually. We've never met in person, which is crazy to me. That makes me sad. And I loved revisiting our conversation that happened over 4 years ago now. There's something that I loved, that I really clocked, and he talks about in the episode. You should re-listen to it right now. Press pause, re-listen to it, come back, and figure out where he is now. But when you re-listen to it, or when I re-listened to it, I really loved him talking about how acting has made him really aware of what he says and how he says it, how that has an impact on the person who he's saying it to. I never really thought about that too much, especially as a doctor, because you just kind of like spew information. You're like, I'm a fact spewer, emotional restraint. Since I took acting lessons and improv classes, I've become so aware of what the other person is doing and how they are being impacted by what I'm saying, for good and for bad. If I'm getting my information across, becoming a bit more, as the kids say, higher EQ. So I loved that. I love that. I also really loved, Hassan talks about how when he was young, he used to see actors on TV, actors in the movies, and they were special people. They were people who couldn't, like, he was not a special person. He was not able to be in that world. Those were special, unique people, and he is not allowed to be in that space and will never be in that space. And then as he was going through his acting training and career and being on set and stuff like that, he was realizing, oh, these are just normal people who have trained, and I can also train, and I can be invited into those spaces as well too. Anyway, that was really cool. So I'm really excited for you to hear what he's been up to the last 4 years. It's very interesting. So he sent me a video as a 4-year update, and I'm very excited for you to take a little listen or take a little watch. Please enjoy Second Act Actors, Where Are They Now? Hassan Joseph.
Hi, Janet. Thanks for reaching out. I can't believe it's already been 4 years since that episode was recorded. What have I been up to? I actually haven't been in, acting for a while. I stopped maybe a year or so after we recorded our episode. I started doing it because, during the lockdowns, I was thinking about what can I do that I would never do in a million years, and just kind of see what happens. And then that's when I started taking up acting. So I haven't done it for a while. What I did do though was continue doing improv for some reason. I just found it like a good way to just put some creative energy out there. And I was doing it consistently for a pretty long time. I did end up, I think, stopping last year because I had some conflicts. So the day of the improv, I had another conflict that day, so I ended up stopping for some time. But I may restart this year. I also switched careers since our last conversation. So my career in product management is now, I would say, more creative than my last role when we last spoke. In my role, I have to look at data and oftentimes use customer information to come up with creative solutions and creative features and products to make sure that they're happy and they can do what they need to do. And surprisingly, you need to use quite a bit of storytelling when talking to stakeholders, both internal and external. So it's not about just making a PowerPoint and just spitting out facts and information. You really have to tell the story and sell the story to the stakeholders so you can get buy-in for whatever it is that you're doing. So I would say I still use some creativity day to day. It's not the same as, coming up with an episode of a show or a movie, but being able to come up with creative solutions to help, the customers of the companies that I work for, and even come up with a story to sell our stakeholders on why we should do something. I think, the acting classes now, say even the improv classes, just help me with just bringing out that creativity. And I will always be grateful for that. I mean, I still watch a lot of TV and a lot of movies. Now I just more or less just critique them from the comfort of my couch. What's funny though is I did notice that I end up almost being able to predict what will happen in movies and TV shows now. I don't know if that's because I've seen a lot of scripts and they almost all follow a similar pattern, but I found that, I was able to do that sometimes, and I impressed myself. So, but anyway, thanks for reaching out. Would love to come back on sometime, but congratulations on the milestone, and looking forward to seeing more of you.